Okay, today is part 2 of Treasurers using QuickBooks Online to manage your chapter's finances. In this session, we're going to cover journal entries, budgets, creating reports, joint conferences. Now, to get started, I just want to emphasize that journal entries are not recommended unless you're entering depreciation, depletion, or amortization. Journal entries should not be used to do regular transactions or instead of doing regular transactions in QuickBooks. As you see from the home page, this is what will pop up when you log into your QuickBooks. But this is how you track all of your invoices and your expenses as well as your accounts. QuickBooks does not track your journal entries. So they should only be made in very rare occasions. I do suggest you use your invoices, receipt payments, credit memos, expenses, checks, bills, pay bills, your deposits and transfers. Now, for journal entries, when you create a journal entry, if you just have to create the journal entry, you go to your Create menu, you go down to Other, your journal entry. Again, journal entries are used for transactions that do not fall into the flow of accounts payable or accounts receivable and or banking. Now, most common uses for journal entries include reclassifying a transaction that was posted to the wrong account. While these changes can be made in the subledgers, APAR, the journal entry option may be more desirable. I do not suggest it. So if you do realize that you need to reclassify a transaction, I would suggest just going to the invoice and you want to search for the invoice that is out there. That's not what I want. But you can search for your invoices. I'm not sure if it's not letting me do my search because this is a sample company. Let's start over at this point. Okay, now from the dashboard, you can go to your expenses. At the top here, it'll give you all of your expenses. You click on your vendors. It'll show you what open balances they have. Now you can go to make a payment from here. This will create a bill or create an expense. If you have accounts payable you need to pay, can we cut that part? Because that was the first session. So let's stick to making journal entries. Now again, the most common uses for journal entries would be to reclassify a transaction that was posted to the wrong account. While these changes can be made in the subledger, AP and AR, the journal entry option may be more desirable. Not suggested. Non-cash transactions, again, is mainly what you want to use your journal entries for. Depreciation, amortization, income and or expense accruals, and income and or expense deferrals. These can be made through general journal entries. So you want to enter the correct date for your journal entry. You make sure you want to enter the journal entry number, select an account. You enter your amount, whether it's your debit or your credit. So naturally your first one would be your debit. Your description. You want your description to be as detailed as possible. And then you enter your customer name if there's any. You come down for your second journal entry. This would be your credit. Again, your description and if any name is needed. You can add memos here, any attachments. If you're entering payroll or something, that's typically the only reason why you would fill up all of these lines where you need to add more lines. And QuickBooks, as you see, adds 8 lines at a time. And you can hit Save and New or Save and Close. Just don't forget to enter your memo and a detailed description. Now, if this is related to a member or a vendor, again, you can select it from the names list here. If accounts payable or accounts receivable account is chosen, the name is required, or else QuickBooks will not save it. You will get a warning sign. So note the entry number in the upper right corner. QuickBooks will automatically issue a unique transaction number. Click Save when completed. Now, revising your journal entry. The most common reasons for revising entries are income expense accruals and deferral reversals. If the reversing entry relates to an accrual or deferral, make sure the reversal is dated in a period later than the original general journal entry. If the reversing entry is correcting an existing journal entry, use the exact same date for the reversal. To search for the journal entry, you click on your Create menu. You select your journal entry, and this is your history icon. This is located in the top left corner, and it displays all of your previous journal entries. So if you need to search for one and see what's going on, you can from that screen. Now, there are various search engines available. However, journal entry number is the best option. Once the original entry is displayed, click Reverse at the bottom. Here's your reverse, and then it reverses your entry. You hit Cancel if you made an error and you just want to not save it. So you leave without saving, and there you go. Otherwise, you can delete it. You can do an audit history, or you could copy the journal entry if it's something that you will need to make the following period or month or week. You can hit Save and New if you're doing multiple journal entries, or Save and Close. Now, once you hit the reverse, did you see a change? Notice the date advances automatically because it was 4/23. I'll show you that one again. Once you hit reverse, it flipped and the date advances. Now change the date if required. The memo is automatically populated with reversal information, so you just click Save to proceed. The resulting reverse journal entry will have an R place after the original journal entry number. So it will say, for example, journal entry number 2, and then, or NUL, and then this is the reverse journal entry, NUL, L with the R, just to let you know that this was a reversal of this journal entry. Now, to create a reoccurring journal entry from an existing journal entry, the journal entry must be displayed on the screen in order to proceed. So you put in your journal entry, and then you scroll all the way to the bottom where it says Make Reoccurring. You click on this icon. You give it a template name. Note, enter a start date. Determine the frequency of the entry, whether monthly or yearly. You decide what day you want your journal entry to be posted and the length of time the entry will be reoccurring. So if you're picking monthly, you want it on the first Monday of every month, every 2 months, and then your start date, and then you click and by and after, 3 occurrences, never ending. Again, you want schedule, a reminder. A reminder is not going to schedule the journal entry. it will just give you a reminder to do the journal entry, or you can unschedule it, but a schedule must be selected to make it reoccurring. And again, if you need to reverse it, you just click reverse here. Revert takes you back to the original journal entry page, so nothing is saved. Now, editing a pending journal entry is made on the template for all future transactions to have the updated information. Now, highlight the entry you want to edit from the list and then click on Edit, located at the bottom right hand once changes have been made and you save your updated entry. You click your Save Template. Well, because I didn't fill everything out, it's not going to go. So you want to make sure everything is filled out correctly. Now we're going to talk about budget. Creating a budget. To create a budget, from your home screen, you click on your gear icon. Under Tools, you go down to Budgeting. You want to click Add a Budget. Your budget screen will appear. New budget, located right here at the top, just telling you that it's a new budget. And you will click Next once you are ready to proceed. You want to name your budget. Select the correct year, whether it's monthly, quarterly, yearly. Pre-fill data, and then subdivide. And you can select customers or not to subdivide. And this is what your budget page will look like. Now, assistance in creating new fiscal year budget would involve starting a budget with the prior year, actual income and expense account. So again, it does look different if you're changing how often you want it. If you want it monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Just please be careful when selecting the fiscal year that you are working on, because this does affect your report. Click on the Create Budget icon when you are finished, and QuickBooks will start to create your budget for you. On this screen, you can enter in your budget information. As you see, once you click on one account, it'll hold it in place in case you need to scroll down and compare it with another account. You enter your information. Just make sure you're entering in the correct account. Once you enter in the information in the field, you hit Tab, and that's what saves it into the field. Not enter, hit your Tab button. Now, when you're creating a budget with the option to enter by month, you will be able to enter the budget by the allocation of when the revenue or expense will occur. The option of View by Month, you will be able to view the budget by the allocation of when the revenue or expense will occur. If the option you use, Enter by Year, you will be able to enter the amount for the year. When entering annual budget amounts, QuickBooks will prorate the annualized amount into the month automatically. So, again, I say when entering annual amounts, QuickBooks will prorate the annualized amount into the month automatically. Note, if an uneven distribution exists, this will adjust in the last fiscal month. Now, to save your budget, just click on the Finish button, which we did. Make as many budgets as you want or need. Remember, you can always delete a budget that you do not need. Note, once you submit your final budget to HFMA staff, it cannot be deleted. So once you're finished with your budget, you want to click on Save and Close. Again, once you've already clicked Next and you decide you want to change the view, you can. You can also hide blank rows. Click Save and Close. Here is your budget. Now from this, now that you have a budget there, you can add a budget, or you drop down, you can edit the budget, copy it, delete it, run your budget versus actual report. Just again, once your final budget is submitted to HFMA, it cannot be edited or deleted. However, you can still just add new budget. We're going to go back to our home screen. Now we're going to go into creating reports. Now, customizing reports in QuickBooks. QuickBooks has the ability to customize any report you want. You click on the report. You could just go over here to your left-hand side of the screen and you click Reports. It gives you your favorites, which you can also customize, your business overview, and this is where you click on if you want it to be in your favorites list or not. See, opens invoice list. This is why it's important to do invoices versus journal entries. You have collections report, customer balance summaries, customer contact list. So if you just want to see a list of all of your customers, deposit details, what you owe if you have 1099 contractors, balances, accounts payable, bill payment list. If you have unpaid bills, it'll print out an entire list of unpaid bills. Your 1099 transaction detail report, sales tax if needed, employee contact list, and here's your account list, general ledger, all of your journals, your reconciliation report, any recent transactions, automatic transactions, your trial balance, and so on. Again, you click whatever reports you need in your favorites, and they appear right at the top. You don't have to scroll down the entire list. Now, once you have chosen the report that you would like, you customize. You click Customize, which are the little dots here, and this is what will show up. The general selection is the date range of your report. So if you want this week, just today, all dates, custom dates, then you can enter the custom dates you want your report. If you want it to be cash or accrual, whatever accounting method you would like it, to show without cents, how you want your negative numbers to show. Then you could click on rows and columns, totals only, by customers, by vendors, by products and services. You have your filters and your headers and your footers. You also have the ability to add additional sub-columns for comparison and choose accounts you want to be displayed. At the bottom of the customized report option, you are given the opportunity to run report on the screen, or you can email the report to others and or export the report to an Excel spreadsheet. And you do all of that once you run your report. You can see how it looks. If you're happy with it, you can save your customization. This is your export to Excel or to a PDF, print option, or email. You can have it detailed or make it compact. Again, you can still switch it to cash or accrual. If you want to customize it more, you go back to your customize screen and then run the report. If you're sure this is what you want, if it's just a one-time report that you want to customize, you could just go to run report, print, email, whatever, export it to Excel and save it to your hard drive, or you can save it. And then you go to the top right, and it says back to report list once you're finished. and you're back here. Once you save your customized report, when you go to your report screen, instead of all, you click on Customize Report. They will be listed here. You also have Management Reports. Now, Profit and Loss with Budget. To display a profit and loss using actuals against budgets, you go to Report, and then you select Budgets versus Actuals. So instead of scrolling down the list, you can also use the search box here, and once you start typing, QuickBooks will automatically fill it in. So as you see, we selected budgets versus actual report. This is a recommended report. You select the budget you want to display, and you enter all other criteria to customize the report. And this was the budget. You enter the dates you want it from, again, cash or accrual, accounts versus month, whatever you want in your report. You customize it all here. You run your report, and here is your budget. Again, same features. You can save it. If you do, it will appear here under Customize Reports. Now we're on to Joint Conference Reporting. Go back to our dashboard, which is your home screen. Now, Joint Conference Reporting requires detailed intercompany transactions between the chapters and regions. Importantly, regions may have a seed money fund that is funded by various chapters for joint conferences. In most cases, the seed money is not returned to the chapter because this funding is used year after year. When recording joint conference proceeds, there are various factors to consider when creating the accounting transactions, such as the following: seed money tracking, prepaid expenses, deferred revenue, gross revenue proceeds, gross expenses on joint conference. Now, recording proceeds. Armed with a printout of the detailed distribution of the proceeds, each chapter will enter the gross revenue and gross expenses accordingly. The following is a detailed report of the distribution of the joint conference proceeds to one chapter. So you have your income, you have your meeting, sponsorship, interest, your total income, then you have your expenses, meeting, board, committee, IT, office, merchant fee, total expenses, which gives you your net income or loss. You enter your information using a deposit with gross revenue and reducing deposit with the expense by entering a negative number. If you have already entered the deposit as a net amount, please enter a journal entry to correct the allocation to the appropriate funds. So you want to go to bank deposits, add funds to this deposit, and this is where you receive your funds, account number or account name, whatever the gross revenue is. You always enter detailed information in your description, your payment method. If it is by check, reference number is your check number. So this is your total income versus expenses. You always enter a description. Now your expenses do go in as a negative. This will give you your net income or loss. Save and close. You may want to print it for your records, but there you have it. Now, recording a receivable. If the region notifies the chapter that the joint conference proceeds will be issued in the next fiscal year, then during the financial consolidation process, a receivable will need to be recorded to comply with the accrual basis. If you have questions, please call HFMA staff. Financial consolidation. During the financial consolidation process, HFMA staff has had to back out, start that over, financial consolidation. During the financial consolidation process, HFMA staff has had to back out the net income transactions at the chapter level and region level and adjust the revenue and expense transactions to a gross basis because revenue was being overstated and expenses were being understated. In order to comply with the IRS reporting and accurately reflect the consolidation on the 990 tax return, please take the time to record the joint conference proceeds accurately. If you have any questions, please call HFMA staff. Reconcile means you have finished your reconciliation for the month and those transactions have been reconciled in QuickBooks and with your bank. So that is the difference between cleared versus reconciled. Again, journal entries are only to be made when necessary. You always want to enter your invoices, receive payments, expense checks, bill pays. Now to write a credit memo, you would just go to your create icon. You go down to credit memo. You select your customer. If you want to send it later or now, their information pops up. QuickBooks will automatically generate a credit memo. And you select why you're giving them the credit memo. The quantity, the rate, if you're crediting tax or not. And then you definitely want to attach a memo here. This box will show on the credit memo. This will not. This memo box is only for internal use. Add any attachments, any discounts if needed. You can print or you can preview, and this is what your credit memo will look like. It says credit memo at the top versus invoice. You can print from here. If you created it by accident, you can either copy it if you need to create another one. You can void it out. If it's no longer valid, you can delete it, save and send. If you'd like to email it to your member, there's a subject line. You can type a message here, and you can email it to them. You just have to make sure the email address is saved in QuickBooks for that correct customer or entered in this box. You can also CC someone, and that is how you, again, this is your history button, so it will show you any other recent credit memos that were there or that were created. And I do believe that takes care of most questions. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact HFMA. I'm not sure if I touched on how to delete an open invoice. So as you have this create button, these are your shortcuts over here to the left. So you can go to banking, choose what account. You can go to the register straight from here. Your expenses. Now sales. This is where you see your products and services. So if you just need to review the list, they're all here. As well as your customers or members. Your list is here. And all of your invoices, which is why it's really important to enter invoices versus just writing checks. You can go here to receive your payment, view and edit the invoice. Your invoice will pop up. We'll give you the due date, why it's coming up past due. If you need to edit this invoice, you can from this screen. You can copy it, you can void it, you can delete it, and you can do an audit history on it. You need to customize the invoice, print it. Let's say you want to void It's always good to void versus just deleting unless it's just a complete error. Gives you any messages if you're doing something that is not correct. Again, if you do something and QuickBooks is not happy with it, it will let you know. You need to just delete the invoice, click on delete, and it is now deleted. There's a successful void. And again, you get to that from your left side menu on sales, and you click on invoices. You can do the same with your expenses. If you have a bill, you can create the expense, you can write a check, or you can make this customer or member inactive and they will not show on your list anymore. You can prepare your 1099s, and again, that's from expenses. You click on vendors, prepare 1099s. If you need to add a new vendor, this is the screen you would do that from also. So that concludes our session for today. Again, any other questions, please contact HFMA. Thank you.